defensive. I like that. Hold on to it. You are, you cheeky. No. Yeah, have some of that. Welcome everybody and welcome to today's video. Now we are in rFactor2 today and I am in VR. Now it was only been brought to my attention not too long ago that rFactor2 has VR support and has for quite some time. Don't know how this has kind of passed me by. Of course I've heard very good things about rFactor2. That it's a great sim. It's probably the true sim. iRacing just has the better online mode and support competitive service, but this video is quite apt in that regard because rFactor2 have just announced and just released, although be it in a beta mode, a competition server. Now it's running just one car at the moment and it's just kind of in a testing phase, hence why it's in beta, and it's going to be run very similarly as per ACC's competition servers, hopefully with a little bit more success, but that can only be a good thing for the sim racing community and for us sim racers as a whole, because that's what we want, is competition. Now I've heard very good things about rFactor2, the handling, and just so many other different things. I know that a lot of the true racing drivers out there, when they're practicing with their companies, BMW and the like, they are using RF2 as a model or a personalized rFactor2, a form of it, for their simulator sessions. So I'm interested to see what this is like in VR. Now this sim had not too long ago a really big graphics update, and to me, as you can see on screen right now, it is a beautiful sim, one of the best out there, definitely worlds above iRacing at the moment. It's one of my gripes about iRacing is the graphics. I think it could do with a real big overhaul and an update, but this video isn't about iRacing. It's not about me bashing it. It's about RF2 and what is good in it and how ultimately why you guys are here. How does it perform in VR? So let's cut to the chase. It's good. It is very good. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It's by no means perfect. I would say, as an overview, it's probably Automobilista 2 is the number one, iRacing second, and then RF2 is probably third. Now, I don't really have any FPS drop. I have played around with the settings quite considerably because although the graphics do look beautiful on the screen that you're seeing in front of you, this is a mirror version of what I'm seeing in the VR headset, but not pixel by pixel. It could be the graphics fidelity could be a little bit more clearer. It could be better. The detail of the car within the headset is not that great, to be honest. And then seeing in the distance, I mean the immediate vicinity of the cars in front of you is, but in the distance not so much. I would like it to be a lot clearer. It's quite difficult to pick out your braking markers. Of course, Spa, I've raced it so often, so that I generally know them off by heart, just by feel. But other tracks and so forth, it would be a lot more difficult. Now, I don't know if it's something to do with this sim. I imagine it's a trait of this sim. I don't know if it's the same within a monitor. But the sense of speed in other sims, you really get a true sense that you're traveling at 150 miles an hour, 180 miles an hour. And then in RF2, it doesn't feel like that. it feels really slow, considerably slow. And I did drive a lot of cars, a lot faster cars, to see if that was the case. And it just, yeah, seems to be within VR especially, which once again makes it quite difficult to gauge how fast you're going around certain corners, especially here in the bus stop chicane. I did spin it a few times because the sim was telling me that I was going a lot faster than it felt like I was. If that kind of makes sense. Now, I'm not sure if that's just a VR thing, because the whole reason we race in VR is for the immersive factor. Now, on a monitor, I'm watching the race as you guys are right now, and it seems a lot quicker. The sense of speed feels quicker than it does within the headset. So, of course, each sim are going to have their own traits. Each sim is going to feel different, and that's clearly something to do with rFactor, and would just be a case of me probably just racing some more and putting more hours and laps in. But other than that, it feels good that VR is in a much better state than I thought it was going to be. As I said, didn't realise it had been out for so long. Now, would I use VR to race competitively in rFactor 2? Probably not. I feel like it's, as I said, I just need a little bit more optimization, so that it's a little bit more reliable, and just clearer, to feel like I'm going to be competitive and not to a detriment of everyone else. Now, before I move on to the actual sim as an overall and the updates they've made recently, and more of the competition server, one of my biggest bugbears in VR within iRacing, and hopefully you guys will be able to elaborate for me, some of you rF2 veterans out there, but it seems to me, and I've researched this, you cannot move the Huds. So you cannot move the virtual mirror, you cannot move your relative, and in VR, they're very out of position. As you maybe see, it crept into screen a couple of times. You've got the black box is down to my right-hand side, but that is considerably down to my right-hand side. I'm really having to look away from the track in front of me to have a look at that. And then likewise, the virtual mirror up above and the positions, the relative and so forth. It's just everything is very much out of position and not in the correct scale. And that is one of the great things that I do like about iRacing, not that I want to mention it too much, is that the user interface and just the accessibility and the adjustability is really good. And just even like setups of cars for so forth, where you've just got, you hover over something in regards to do with a setup, and it gives you a brief description of what that actually does to the performance of the car. Now, I'm sure rF2 are going to be taking all this feedback in, and they'll make changes. I don't think anyone really kind of expected them to introduce such a drastic change in the UI. When I did jump on this only a few weeks ago, actually, I was a little bit overwhelmed with the UI itself. There was a lot to do in it, and setting it all up and the controls and so forth. But I really do quite like the UI. Still needs a little bit more fleshing out, I think, as always, but it's a good start and it's a good step in the right direction. Now, competition servers, how are they running? Well, at the moment, it seems like, as I said, it's just in a beta phase. They're trialing it. At the moment, it's just one car around a set number of tracks, with sessions at certain times. Very similar to iRacing in an essence, although I think, once again, the user interface could do a bit more fleshing out, make it a little bit more accessible and easier to navigate. But at the moment, it's just within this one car that they're running competition servers on, with the looking to quickly add GT cars in there as well. The car that you're seeing on screen is a Taurus. I believe it's a form of a F3 car. As you can see, it's a halo there, so it's a very modern car. It doesn't sound too good, must admit. It's not one of my favourite sounding cars, but yeah, it's okay to drive. I will give it a dabble at some point to see how the competition servers run, but this is only a good thing, because I'm going to end this video on something that I've heard all so often, but never really, as I said, got grips to it, or grips with rF2 to try it out. But the handling within this sim is phenomenal. By far the best out there of any sim. It's just being able to drive on the limit, being able to just catch the slides is just so much fun. And you really do kind of have to get the car out of shape to lose it. That's not to say, of course, that every car is like that. If a car has got more power behind it, of course, if you get on the throttle too early, you're not going to be able to catch the car. But especially with the GTE, I found the GTE was such a the Aston Martin was such a joy to drive, and just being able to catch the slides, and you can see why this sim is used by the professionals to practice and so forth. And I can see why that the virtual Le Mans was held in rFactor2 for all its misgivings of online problems and server problems. For the sim content itself, I can see why it was held on here. Now, just talking about server problems and online problems, I've still had my teething issues in regards to the game crashing a couple of times, and just loading screens not loading and so forth. But it seems like the developers are on top of things, and they're making a bit more of a conscious effort now to work on these problems that have been shouted at them for so long from the racing community, because they've got a great product here. And if they can sort out, like most sims, if they can sort out that online X factor that iRacing has, then we will truly get some competition. And I am all for more sim racing experiences. So yeah, guys, I hope that was informative for you. I hope you guys enjoyed my driving on screen. Not so much with the halo that is stuck in the middle there. It wasn't really nice even with VR to drive with that on. But yeah, by all means, as I said, I know that there's loads of plugins and loads of mods for this. By all means, I am willing to delve into this sim a lot more and see its progression now. So feel free to hit me up with any links in the description. In the comments below. Please add on to anything that will make my experience within rF2 that much better. Would I advise you to purchase this now? I think so. I think it's that. I've had some great races here in AI, 95% with 50% aggression, and I've had some proper wheel-to-wheel races. Nothing that you've seen on screen here, but just to experience it. And as I said, it's a beautiful game, sim on monitors. So if you're playing primarily on a monitor or triples, purchase it, because there are plenty of videos out there that just showcase how good this graphics update is. And this is how a sim should be. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Feel free to join the Discord, that is in the link in the description below. And I'll see you for the next one.